So what happens to Amy, Raphael, and Viola in Soul Calibur 7's story? Hey, what's up guys, it's I'm Mark Yoon and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is actually something that I was talking about with someone on Discord, and it might have been my comment section, but I'm going to show the comment here and then we can discuss it. So this is from Gaza, and they actually go on to say, at Mark Yoon, so what are your thoughts regarding the medicine vial that Azwel gives Raphael? I assume that they were going to use this to explain how Raphael's manifestation turns him into a vampire, but you seem pretty sure that they're going to avoid that arc this time. I doubt it's going to outright cure him of the manifestation because, well, it's Azwel. So it's likely going to have some weird effects. Also, judging by Amy's Soul Chronicle, Azwel seems pretty sure Raphael is going to become some form of malphested, but maybe Amy will be able to save him in time. What are your thoughts? And for the long story short, I'm going to tell you my response, but then I'm actually going to go into my response here, and we're going to use a bunch of stuff from like the Soul Chronicles, and we're going to go into, we're going to visit the wiki and also see what they say about the consolidated characterizations as well. So my response was, this is a whole ass video. Probably just allow Raphael to partially control manifestation, but it wipes some of his memories. Raphael will then go off somewhere. Azwel will convince Amy that her clairvoyance will help find him, but then brainwash her and then release her abilities. This will be why she becomes Viola and joins the Swords and Shepherds. At least that's my best guess. And then Gaza replied with, interesting, but Azwel, despite being evil, does hate Nightmare and his group, so unless Viola would decide herself, he probably wouldn't have her join them. That is, unless he plans to use her as a pawn from within. And then I said, exactly. So I think that's exactly where it's going. We're going to talk about this a little bit right now, just so I can have a clear image about what we're going to talk about. So this is actually a subject that I've been mulling over for a really, really long time. How they are going to come to fruition with the thread lines that they've set up for these characters in Soul Calibur 7, all while adapting the story to make it more appealing and well written. What I mean by that is the way they did things in 5 was a little sloppy. They just kind of threw stuff at you and didn't really explain it even within the universe itself. Like Raphael becoming a vampire, which was weird because there's never been instances of vampires within the Soul Calibur universe. It's much easier to explain him becoming malphested and having to cure him of that, and maybe the manifestation driving him to be a little bit cuckoo, but not actually, trying to suck the blood of the innocent and things of that nature, you know what I mean? So I think this would be a much better way to actually write it. So let's get into this by reading a summarization of the Soul Chronicles of Amy and Raphael with their interactions with Azwel, and we will go right from there. So in the Soul Chronicles it says, it was Azwel who treated Grow after he was defeated by Nightmare, but the researcher secretly infected with malphested energy. Later, Azwel infected Curtis with a fragment of Soul Edge and transformed him into the malphested, forcing Grow to kill his best friend. He then fought the enraged warrior but managed to escape. At some point, Azwel wrote documents about the evil seed under the title Scholar of the Future. In 1589, after his supposed death by the conduit, Azwel met the man who he had gotten a hold of the documents, Raphael Sorel. He learned of the nobleman's goal to obtain Soul Edge and give it to the nobles, so they would fight and kill each other for the sword, and Raphael would create the ideal world for his adopted daughter, Amy. Seeing how easily he manipulated the nobleman, Azwel fought Raphael to test his resolve, and later gave him the medicine to stop Soul Edge's poison from infecting him before departing. In 1586, Azwel visited Lord Dumas and informed him of the Evolve organization's supposed actions of betrayal. As he was about to leave, he found Amy eavesdropping on their conversation and took an interest in her psychic abilities. Later, 1590, Azwel lured Amy into a trap and had a group of malphested attack her to ascertain her powers. Afterwards, the researcher revealed Raphael's plan for obtaining Soul Edge and its flaw of the nobleman's madness. Azwel easily irked Amy into fighting and paralyzed her with a magical orb. With the orb, the researcher discovered her future self, Viola, and tortured her with a nightmare of Raphael becoming malphested. Wanting to make her into his doll in the future, Azwel erased Amy's memories of the encounter and allowed her to be found by the melees. Now, obviously, this leads into the story for Soul Calibur 7 being such that he just wiped her memories of the entire situation because he foresaw the thing about Raphael becoming malphested and Viola. This was all part of like his giant setup plan, and I believe it's because he definitely knows that Ishka, Acht, and Nightmare are acting behind the scenes with Johan, and maybe even prophesying or foretelling the coming of Azwel, of Algol. So I think his best solution, if he wants his to save humanity like shtick to work, which obviously isn't, but if he wants to bring about the ultimate seed, right, then he definitely has to get his hands on those evil shards before the Swords and Shepherds do. So we're going to be seeing three factions really working at play here. We're going to be seeing the Swords and Shepherds trying to gather the shards, the heroes trying to stop them or gather them themselves to prevent them from attaining them, and then we're also going to see Azwel trying to manipulate the scenes behind the background to get them for himself. Now, we already know a couple things from the Soul Chronicles. The first thing that we're well aware of is that he does have the ability to manipulate people very easily, even those with strong convictions. He also has the ability of using somebody's love for somebody else to get them to do his bidding. He also has the ability to brainwash people, and he also has the ability to start drawing out their latent abilities. He can also supposedly come up with and conjure a bunch of like chemistry and things to like stop manifestation, or at least get what he wants out of it. I mean, that's why we have Bro the way that he is, right? So my thing that I'm thinking that they're gonna do is they're gonna play off what he already predicted. So they're gonna take Raphael. He gave Raphael this vial. Raphael is gonna go off on this like quest that Azwel set him down, and taking the potion is actually going to allow him to not only be malfested, but it's also going to allow him to become brainwashed and lose his short-term memory. So he won't know who he is, and he'll just be malfested. That way he can manipulate him from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, while Raphael is out doing his own thing, we're going to be sitting here like, well, what's going on, right? Well, he's going to be with Amy now, and Amy is he's going to pressure her to use her clairvoyance or her psychic abilities to try and locate Raphael. Obviously, it's not going to be the case. He's going to have spells and such working against her. This is just to tap into the abilities so that he can bring them out. He's then going to brainwash her once again, just so he can have her find Raphael or set her down this path, just like he did before. He's going to use the information that he did before as a science experiment, and he's going to completely complete the process this time, transforming Viola and having her set off on this mission to gather the evil shards for him from within the Swords and Shepherds. He's going to convince her somehow that the Swords and Shepherds are the ones behind Raphael's mysterious disappearance, and that the only way that she can find information about her is to use her abilities around the Swords and Shepherds, to get in there from within, to try to find the soul shards, or the nightmare shards, and literally use them to find Raphael. These will somehow enhance her abilities. All this is going to be manipulation done by Azwel, just for the sake of keeping those two apart until he has them manipulated. Then, when it comes time, Raphael is going to return, and instead of like embracing Viola, obviously not recognizing her, and Viola's own memories and abilities being manipulated and brainwashing her, are going to attack each other. I think this is what's going to cause both of them to break out of their brainwashing. Whether SCVI has something to do with that or not is unbeknownst to me at this time, but this is what we're going to see happen in the game. So hopefully this actually brings not only a manifested transformation to Raphael, but it also allows us to have Amy and Viola in the same game. So I think this would be... It's not that genius to think about, because it's literally just taking what is already there from the Soul Chronicles and already there from the story that's been set up, to try and just foresee it to its own like conclusions based on the actions that Azwel has already done in the past and his intentions of the future. So I think this is actually pretty likely. Obviously some details might be different here and there, but I think this is definitely the route that they're going to go, and how we're going to see these two characters' story come to a climax in Soul Calibur 7. But those are my thoughts and ideas, and I hope they helped. I can clarify anything or answer any questions in the comment section down below or on the Discord, so join that if you want to chat about it, or in the comment section, obviously. If you like this video, I would obviously appreciate a like, and subscriptions are my favorite thing in the world. I'm trying to get to 2,000 this year, so I'm trying to get to 2,222 subscribers in 2,222, so only you guys can help with that. So with that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close, and as I always say, I love it, thank you,
and thank you.